Oh, my mic's not plugged in.
Hey, what's up guys? So you probably heard my mic was not plugged in, so that was fun. We'll be starting here soon. It'll be a just chatting stream just because I will be starting on a new lore-based SMP, so I kind of want to clear up any lore questions and make sure that you guys get the actual finale to Crossroads SMP that was never put onto stream but was written. Hey, what's up guys? So let's switch from this screen over to our intermission screen. Come on, there we go. So as you guys can see, we got a fully lit up room here, which is kind of chill and cool. Quickly writing up a few things. So tonight is what we consider, well, I'm going to consider the final and last hurrah to the cross. What is wet on my desk? Something was wet there because my phone keeps getting wet every time I don't know. Either way, it's going to be kind of the last hurrah to the Crossroads SMP, which was an SMP I started that ran for 2 separate seasons. I did eventually decide to run an end to it. As you guys can't see, I'm kind of somewhat in cosplaying my own character. Not any of the makeup and the wig and stuff, because I just did not want to do that. So I pulled the jacket and the shirt. But, anyways, I decided to cut it. It was, what was it? October, I think I finally cut the server off and stopped, doing anything on it. Because of inactivity and lack of lore, which was sad because I actually had the season written out. So tonight you guys will be getting a few name drops from a few different members that were on the SMP. And this is mainly happening. I was going to do a full-on written out version. I probably will, and it's more than likely will probably be a little bit different than this one, because what I'm doing here tonight is basically going to sum up, because what lore we got into in Crossroads was merely like Act 1 of Chapter 1, and then it kind of ended. What sucks is that right now my character lore, in where it's at right now, where it needs to be, that's canonical on stream, you know, saved throughout the Mineverse, is not where it needs to be. And so this is to tie this all up and finish all of that area out, because it looks like I will be starting on the Emerald SMP here soon, which is a completely lore-based SMP. The reason I was admitted was simply because of lore. So that makes sense. I gotta take this off. It's hot. I'm never going to con as myself. Never. Might once. That is a hot jacket. Anyways. So, yeah, that's kind of the basis of that, is it was a lack of involvement in lore. But, so being that, let's go and grab the prop of the Mineversal book. Something I made myself. Kind of been gathering dust since then, but a beautiful book of all Raziel Cypher's travels through the Mineverse. From the Unfinished Symphony, that had a few notes different, that had a difference of a few notes for any of my beautiful Dream SMP fans, to anything else. Lore-wise is in this book and in the Eternal Library, which you guys haven't seen yet. That is that's something that was written but never built. So let's actually set it right there, because I actually don't need it, because I do know this storyline pretty much in my head, because I'm the one who wrote it. So let's start, because the last time we were on Crossroads SMP, we were sitting in the deep dark. You know, the voices in the head to spread the sickness of the skull. As, you know, we were in Dark Destinies and Red the Cactus's camp, because they did have camp, and we were spreading Skulk, trying to invade and infect, which obviously, because of my Mineversal powers and bringing the whole SMP into the new update, kind of that happened. So, I'm trying to think how to put this without making it sound like a 1,000-year story. We're just pretty much going to go with a quick version of this. So in basis, Raziel Cypher opened up the Deep Dark as a museum. See, and that's what it was supposed to look like. It was supposed to look like a nice museum of how the ancient civilizations lived. Especially mainly because Raziel Cypher was on one of the ancients. He was there at that point in time, you know, being an ancient deity and stuff. Being someone who was one of the original builders of the ancient structures. Being an Enderian from the start was kind of just that step up. But being the fact that the Deep Dark, the Skulk, the community of the Skulk, which is something I love, because I kind of always envisioned the Skulk as a community, as a hive mind, would you say? And after I wrote that into Crossroads SMP, kind of as our lore-based guide, 2 or 3 weeks later, I kid you not, Mad Pat came out with a theory on Game Theory about that. I'm just like going, what the heck? Like, that's cool. I know he didn't see my channel, but that was cool. Anyways, so as that community, that hive mind, infected Raziel Cypher, being an old ancient creator, and being his powers, you know, he would, I'm not going to call it an Ender Walk, because that's Rombu's thing, but he would lose time, dissociate into what would be called a different personality, and he'd spread the sickness of the Skulk around, making sure that I'm good on some of my Discord servers. Oh yeah, I think it's Emerald. I think it's Member adding night for them. Anyways, So, let's go back down to the Crossroads SMP server. So for the Skulk, it was just to keep spreading and spreading and spreading. And also to get other members in the hive mind. So eventually, and I haven't put names here yet because we were to see on who was on at the time, kind of where that was, but slowly I was supposed to get 1 member, 2 member, 3 members. But eventually, I couldn't pick up my sword, the Cipher Sword, which is right over there, actually. The original version that was in Season 2 of Crossroads SMP. And that might make a return in Emerald SMP, version 1. Version that shattered to a million little pieces. That is the reason my character has a nice little scar on his face. Anyways. So, the Cipher Sword. The sword that draws power from the multiverse itself. Goes missing. Nothing big. Nothing big. That's kind of where that went to go. And that was kind of the plot hole on how we defeat me in the end. But between that, I kept on infecting the server. Finally, someone noticed that this simple infection was a hive mind trying to take over the server. So a resistance was to be started. And it was to be started specifically to fight me. And in the big end of that scheme of the resistance, that is who the Cipher Sword showed up to. Let's actually grab my baby down. That is who... This beautiful baby of a sword, the Cipher Sword version 1, was supposed to show up to. Because that has the power of the multiverse. It draws from my own power to travel. And it also can be drawn from a simpleton, per se, to travel the multiverse. Not really with control of their own, because obviously, but with the sword knowing what you needed, who you needed. And they would slowly learn about that as I'm spreading the Skulk to the rest of the SMP. And towards the end of Chapter 3, well, I call it Act 3, towards the end of Act 3, when most of the server finally has been taken over, that's when we would begin our finale. Our big hits are the Skulk finally realized why I was so important. Why? Because I can travel the multiverse. Why do we want a hive mind when we can have the multiverse as our entire existence? Which made sense and would be the greatest thing ever. So, the plan was to use me and to make a big end crystal, because obviously those crystals being the source of a power from the Enderians, and kind of how you would teleport from place to place, from dimension to dimension, is also, with a few changes, how you can, with a few changes from someone who has the power to travel the multiverse, to kind of travel the multiverse in a big way and bring people. So, I'm saying so a lot, and I just realized this. In that basis that we had, the whole plan was to make this crystal. And at that point, that's when whoever led the resistance would figure out that this baby, the Cipher Sword, which is damaged, could traverse and bring you people from other servers, other SMPs, for crying these sakes. And that's when we're supposed to add a few new members from other SMPs, or at least even guest stars. And in basis, the kind of finale was that it was going to be this big overarching attack, because the crystal was complete and everything was ready, and the only way to destroy the crystal was to purge me of all the Skulk. The only thing that could hurt me, though, or purge the Skulk, was a big fatal blow from the Cipher Sword. So again, whoever the primary hero came out to be that season, because we didn't even have this planned out yet. I literally just had rough drafts at that point when the server ended. Was to take the sword and bring as many people from different servers in. And there was a list of people who I wanted to invite. And being a smaller SMP, I was hoping to get people like Sherberquake from from Fable SMP. Maybe getting someone from even Dream SMP, that'd be cool. Like, I would have loved to have Wilbur Soot, or at the point when this was written, Technoblade was alive. It would have been amazing, but for reasons to be honest, it obviously is not possible now. But anyways, and we were to get this army. So 3 or 4 people from another server, and they were to literally take the sword and smash it, literally smash across my face, which would shatter the Cypher sword, and it would it would pretty much kill me, deprive me of all this, wipe all the skulk from my body, from my consciousness, but it would also take the remnants of the sword and transfuse them to a different server. And, they would transfuse most of them to a different server, and a few of them would follow me, staying impaled inside of me. And that would throw me into the Mindverse, destroying my corporeal body, which of course will get reforged and reimagined in Emerald's SMP when I start my first day. And within that, the sword will get reforged. I do actually have a prop of, let's go grab it from over here, a prop of a depowered but still kind of reforged version 1 Cypher sword. And the next sword, it's not that one that's the problem. Will get reforged into an elven sword. And she'll get reforged in Emerald SMP, obviously. And still have the same amount of power, because I will be the one reforging it. But it will leave me with a scar. And that was supposed to be the canonical end of Crossroads SMP. Because I knew there was no way we were getting a Season 3. There was no way I was going to be able to push for a Season 3. And if I was the only one lore writing, which at that point I pretty much was, there wasn't a chance I was writing for another new season. And that was either to be the canonical end that would have led into either an SMP I joined or an SMP I made. Few ideas that were running around was even a Hoovian SMP with a Dalek mod. I shut my own idea down pretty quickly because, yeah, I did not want to try that. But I'm gonna make sure there's nothing from the new server. But anyways, I would like to say, as that kind of being, and I will eventually release a full storyline of what was supposed to happen on Season 2. I've just been so busy where I haven't even had the chance to even write it down. I haven't had the chance to really do that yet. The lore document literally has up to 2 acts on it, and I know what I was going to do after that. I just needed to kind of know what people were doing. But to anyone who did watch the Crossroads SMP and enjoy it, my Crossroads SMP, let's rephrase that. I did do some interviews for Season 2 and found out there was another SMP named Crossroads that had more popularity. Which sucks, but hey, it happens. Finding a unique SMP name, unless you're going to name it after yourself, is hard. So, I mean, kudos to me for coming up with one, but I'd like to say thanks to everyone who did join it and everyone who filled out an application and everyone who watched it, because the Crossroads was definitely a labor of love, and I am sad that it did have to go the way it did, but hey, I'm hoping to make a lot more time for you guys within more based on Emerald SMP. And that goal is way far off, and I'm just realizing I did not take it down. And I realized this was a very impromptu stream, and it will be on my YouTube. It's just I needed to finish this out and kind of cut the end of, this is the end of Crossroads. I gave out a lot of channel points, holy shit. This is the end of Crossroads, and I'd like to say thanks because I know I did this on Twitter, but I did not get the chance to do this on stream. But to everyone who wants to know, like, of over 48 broadcasts I did last year, there was 26 hours watched of broadcasts. There's 181 chat messages. Over a combined total to everyone who watched, they earned 9.3K channel points from my own channel, which I didn't even know you could do that. We gained a total amount of 32 followers last year. Like, that's a lot. And yes, over the time, my highest viewer count of an actual live stream was 5. That's still an amazing amount to see to you guys. So thank you to everyone who did this. And I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas or a Happy Holidays or a Happy Winter Solstice, because obviously for me, I don't celebrate Christmas or any other holidays. I celebrate the Winter Solstice. So I want to wish you guys all a happy season, and I will definitely be on before New Year's, hopefully, but Saturday I will be going out of town, so there will be no stream Saturday, no stream Sunday, and probably no stream Monday. I do plan on doing a stream tomorrow, hopefully, as my first day on Emerald. Hopefully, that's a big hope, and that's the plan. I will be hopping on, but that's the plan for probably the next week, is going to be stream tomorrow, and probably going to be just off for the next, well, because it's that holiday time, I'll probably be off for a little bit. Let me check my work schedule quickly, otherwise I can give you guys a pretty dang good estimate on streaming schedule for next week. Maybe. Maybe not. Give me 5 seconds, guys. I have to go all the way up through my phone, but I want to at least get that schedule out there now, because that will... here we go. So the plan is I do work Monday, so that's probably not happening. But we'll probably throw a stream on for Tuesday. So we'll do a New Year's stream, a stream on Tuesday the 27th. And we'll try for one maybe, let's say, the 30th, which will be a Friday. And so that's going to be trying on the aim for that. And then obviously stream tomorrow. So make sure to stay in tune for that. Make sure to follow my Twitter. Everything gets archived to YouTube as well. So everything is in the bio or in like my link tree. Besides for that, I'm going to tell you all a good night, because this was kind of an impromptu based off the fact on that news on Emerald. So I will see you all later, and I hope you guys had an amazing night. I hope you did kind of enjoy the basic kind of building blocks to what Emerald SMP were. Not Emerald. The basic building blocks of what Crossroads ended in. And I hope to build onto that maybe in a little bit later this coming year. But as right now goes, I'm thinking about just completely shelving anything Crossroads. And just saying that it is a dead horse. It's a dead labor of love horse, but it is a dead horse. For those of you guys who do want to know anything else for like things that possibly almost did happen, we did almost conduct. I did actually this year try to conduct Tales from the Mindverse series, where it would be a big what if series on popular things like popular SMPs. It would be a big what if on their storylines, which I know sounds tacky because, but no. And I did have a few storylines written for that. I did have a Lamamberg storyline written for that from Dream SMP, and I am consider them canonically as trips my character had but can kind of remember. So if you hear something that doesn't quite fit in with an SMP that I'm in currently, or that canonically you know I've been in, there's a good chance that it's because it's one of the tales that from the Mindverse. And maybe that series might pick up later. It is on the shelf, and it might happen, but we will see. But it was nice to have you guys tonight. I'm probably going to throw you on to someone. Apparently tonight's like the one time not really many people are streaming, so we will see who I'll throw you on to. I will see you guys later. I'm throwing you guys in with Jevin. Have fun.